Namaste Cancer. This is going to be your reading for the month of October. I am doing monthlies now for those of you who are familiar with my channel rather than bi-weeklies because I just I have so many problems with YouTube. I don't want to seem like I'm complaining or whining or whatever, but it is an actual fact. And I even posted on my Facebook page this week a screenshot of a message that YouTube posted on my page and my channel internally, acknowledging the issues that I have. I just cannot keep like fighting with them to try to get videos up and then have, not even that many people watch them. If I'm lucky, it like falls through a crack somewhere and makes it through their algorithm, and then people get to see it. And it's usually like only like one or two videos. Like out of all the zodiacs, I'll have one or two or three signs that will fall through the cracks and will get thousands and thousands of views and tons of likes and everything. And the others, I'm lucky if they break like 100. And I'm very fortunate, knock on wood, that I have a lot of private clients, reading clients, and energy healing clients. In addition to some stuff that I do and just in my private life. I'm a huge like community activist and advocate and stuff, and there's protests and everything going on right now. I just don't have time to play with YouTube. So I apologize for anybody that was looking forward to the bi-weekly and I didn't show up, and do your sign or whatever. But I think this will be more manageable for me if I do it monthly. So this is your October reading. I was supposed to do you the previous time I did these readings, which was about 2 days ago. And I sat here and I focused on Scorpio the whole time I was shuffling, and I ended up doing their reading next instead of yours. So I hope that the cards are equally as good because they got some really, really good cards, or that some of you are both Scorpio and Cancer, like a Cancer sun, a Scorpio moon, or something like that. Because your energy actually showed up in their reading. It was funny because I explained to them, like, this was supposed to be Cancer's reading, and here comes the Chariot, which is your card. All right, so we're going to get started for you, beginning with the Hangman. And he's actually reversed here. And I think you've come into some like enlightenment. If you haven't yet, you will this month. Today's only the first, so this may not have happened yet, but very, very sudden. And I'm picking it up that this is Hangman can mean many. I mean, any tarot card can mean many things, but I think that we're looking at the spiritual meaning for you guys, and that this is about clarity. This is about enlightenment. This is about new sort of phases and adventures in your spirituality, on your spiritual path. Like, maybe you're getting now into meditation. You hadn't been before, or maybe you're going someplace to get a personal reading, or all of a sudden you're into like crystals and stuff and you want to buy some, or you're leaving your church and you're getting into more of the metaphysical instead of the religious, all those kinds of things are what I'm picking up for you guys. So the Tower is behind it, upright, so not in the same direction, but this is actually the reversed Hangman. And it's from a spiritual perspective, the Tower can mean the same thing. Like all of a sudden, you are coming into clarity. Like something can change in a moment, and maybe it's because something happens and you have an experience or you witness something, and that changes your point of view. Like they for example, a lot of the country, I'm here in the United States. I realize I have clients and viewers on every continent except for Antarctica, so you could be anywhere. But for those of you in the United States, we just had a debate, right? Of course, we're having our presidential election next month. And the point of the debates is for, undecided voters to be swayed one way or another, for them to see something. And in that moment, their heart changes, their mind changes, and they decide and they figure something out. And so that kind of thing can happen with you. Maybe you've held on to an ideology, you've held on to a belief system, and all of a sudden you see something. I remember my dad told me this story about when he was a kid. His family was Seventh-day Adventists, and so they were very, very religious. But one day he saw the preacher like getting out of like a Cadillac with prostitutes, and he was a little boy, but he could tell what was going on, or he got a sense of what was going on. And he said from then he never wanted to go to church because in those days you worked even as a kid. So he was at 12, I don't know, bagging groceries and getting paid for stuff like that, by the D'Agostino brothers grocery store, and he didn't want to put his money into the little bin anymore. So and just in that moment, his whole ideology was switched from going to church, wanting to go to church with his family, to never wanting to set foot in church again. So something like that could be going on with you guys, is really what I'm feeling, out of all the possible meanings. And with the King of Swords being next, it could be something that goes on. It's funny that I mentioned the Scorpio thing, because it could be something that goes on with the fact that Mercury has entered Scorpio this week, or entered Scorpio this week. And then before the month's over, it goes retrograde there. And, the retrograde can do a lot of things for us, and bring up a lot of stuff, and bring people back from our past and things back from our past. So that could be happening, especially with the fact that it's going to be in Scorpio, which is all about depth, and getting really into the details and into the weeds. Also, this could be an actual person in your life. If it's not about Mercury or Venus, it could be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone like into those traits or attributes in your life. But what the King of Swords says about spirituality is that you have to understand something in order to believe in it. Like air signs, like we strive to get it, to understand stuff. It has to make sense to us, in a mental way. We have to be able to, okay, well, this fits into this and this fits into that. Okay, so I can believe this because I can understand how it can make sense, how it's plausible. And if we can't, then it's very difficult. And so it's hard for a lot of us to do things like meditate and stuff like that. And although you're water signs, maybe some of you are experiencing that. And this is really saying you're gonna have to try, like I suggested actually with this. Maybe some new things. Maybe get a reading of your own. Maybe go to a metaphysical shop and check out some crystals or something. Listening to a seminar, a meditation. They have a bunch online these days, yoga and meditation and stuff online because of the pandemic. And we're going to start to shuffle for you, beginning with the 10 of Wands in reverse. So I think that some of you may be laying down some burdens finally. Hangman in reverse still. 5 of Wands in reverse also. That card, particularly about relationships, can say if you need to have like these conversations and stuff, if you've been sweeping stuff under the rug, not addressing it, having that conversation, debate, argument even, can make your relationship better. Maybe especially in romantic relationships. The 8 of Swords can be about anxiety, fear, just the feeling of being like trapped and stuck, like you have no options, which is never true. And moving from there to a slightly more positive energy, it's the 9 of Swords in reverse. So this would be like beginning to get over anxiety, but can have to do still, particularly in relationships, whether they're romantic or friendship or familial, with distrust. And maybe especially in romantic relationships, if you are getting like a sense that somebody has been unfaithful or just disloyal, untruthful to you, follow your gut. You're probably right. And this brings us now to the Queen of Pentacles, which represents most directly the sign of Taurus, but also, of course, Virgo and Capricorn. It's funny, I was thinking about the sign of Taurus before. Why was I thinking about them during your reading? Oh, because of the 10 of Wands. They got the 10 of Wands twice in their reading. And so I thought for a second, oh, that's just like Taurus. So maybe some of you are connected to a Taurus, or again, you share Taurus energy in your own chart as well. Whatever the case, Queen of Pentacles upright, very, very positive card. This is your new overall energy. She is a card that is very, very feminine, super feminine. In your relationships, you're going to, especially in your dealings with somebody like a King of Swords, if you're dealing with somebody like that, who's just super, super opinionated, maybe like stubborn to a fault, just very masculine, like what they used to call a man's man type, then you're going to want to lean on this feminine energy and use it to sort of soften him up a bit. and balance him out a bit. This is also about, abundance surrounding you, coming to you, and especially something having to do with the home. Just feeling secure, safe, abundant in your environment, whatever you call home, and having the opportunity to even create a space for yourself that you feel like you can call home. And the next card is upright. It is Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit, so more earth energy. Venus is kind of like, she does represent, the Empress does represent the planet Venus. So I had that thought too when I saw the Queen of Pentacles. I'm like, oh, this is like Empress energy. Again, the Empress represents the planet Venus. She is the ruler of the signs of Libra, Taurus, and also Gemini, which is co-ruled along with Virgo by Mercury. So that King of Swords again. But also Venus entered Virgo this week. And the next card is upside down. It is the Eight of Wands. Somebody's messages delayed or possibly delayed communication and stuff like that. I'm going to get the stand so you can see your cards, the 4 that I picked for you more closely. Okay, here we go. That should be good. If it's not, I'll fix it. I'm going to pick 4, like I said. This first one will be most directly representing you over the course of the month. And it is the Knight of Pentacles, upright. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers, maybe even. The Devil in reverse. A couple other signs had the Devil too. Work and finance. The King of Swords is back, upright. And lastly, love and relationship, the 10 of Wands. And this, guess who had got it in this same position? Yep, Taurus. So I think some of you may be dealing with not only an earth sign, but maybe most specifically a Taurus. And then I would say next a Virgo, and then perhaps a Capricorn third. All right, looks like everything is in frame. So let's go. Let's go back to the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles can say that, again, you're going to be wanting to spend money and time and energy just on getting your home. It could be your physical home more comfortable. If it's not your physical home, or, like you're staying with somebody else so you don't feel as if that's your home, you could be getting your space more comfortable so that you can feel more at home. And this is a good thing, as long as it doesn't like send you into debt or anything like that. What was the card that was behind this? Oh yeah, the Hermit. So that's not about debt. And then delayed message. Well, it could be delayed stuff like a check or something too. Delayed money, like something's held up in the mail. The check is in the mail and you're waiting for it. It's taking a long time to arrive. Maybe it's tied to, talking about what's going on in the United States. Maybe it's tied to COVID or something, unemployment, or your actual salary. You've been on furlough, so your income in general, or a job in general, you're out of work, and that may be delayed. So of course you don't want to, bet the farm, as they say, on remodeling your house, but do make yourself comfortable. And it doesn't have to take a lot of money, because again, home is where the heart is too. So whatever you need as an individual to feel at home is what you should be putting your time and energy and or money into. In terms of work, it's a positive thing. Maybe you hadn't been having much movement or success in work and or finance before, and this is about making headway and beginning to see some gains and things, like reaping your what you've sown, and your work paying off and stuff. And something could happen to make you feel more at home in your work and or job too. Like maybe tied to a female, a dark-haired one to even be more specific, maybe an earth sign, again, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. She plays a significant role, and she is an ally for you. And it is possible that somehow she helps you, maybe just having this sort of friend, this kinship, can make you feel more at home. Maybe you want to bring items from your home into your work. I worked at the same place for 22 years, and I was always like, people would say like, why do you, have so little on your desk and like so few pictures and stuff? And I'm like, if I get fired or laid off or I decide to quit, spur of the moment, I want to be able to get the hell out of here. That was always my attitude. I ended up being there for 22 years, but at the end of the day, when I finally did get laid off, the company was going out of business. I very easily was able to put my stuff in a box and get the hell out of there. But this is suggesting, or this card suggests, that we do try to, make ourselves feel more comfortable even in our workspace. And some of us are working from home now, right? And maybe that's because of the pandemic stuff too. So try to separate the two and have like a little work or office space, and then have areas of your home where you just feel like I'm off now. I punched the invisible clock and I'm off now, and I feel like I'm able to relax and be at home. Spirituality, this card means something similar to what I was saying. Like, you may see things spiritually differently than others do. Similar to as I was describing the King of Swords or air signs in general. We see things differently. Things need to be able to make sense in our head like a puzzle. And if it does, then we can understand it and we can believe in it, right? What you may have whatever you need in order to see things in a spiritual way, and it's different than others, and that's okay. But you're going to want to sort of look into ways that you can feed that desire that you're having to have a greater understanding. And again, you may come into it very quickly. Again, for terms of finances and things, love, even if you're dealing with somebody like a King of Swords, very, very feminine card, very positive card, positive omen in terms of health and money and everything good. So let's move on to the Knight of Pentacles, which is a card that's going to be most directly representing your energy during this period. And he says that you need to pay attention to like the day-to-day, sort of boring, maybe even, or normal and mundane parts of our lives, just taking care of the little things. There was a saying, if you take care of the little things, the big things will fall into place, so it's sort of about like having that type of mentality. And he asks you to like pay attention to your day-to-day affairs. We all have what's called a midhaven sign, and that sign like rules the way that we deal with things on a day-to-day basis, and like our work ethic and all that kind of stuff. And mine is actually an earth sign. It is Taurus. Ironically, I'm feeling that some of you may have a similar connection, and so although it's not like your sun sign or whatever, you're just really being guided to sort of delve into this aspect of yourself. This is another really positive omen in terms of money. Those of you who are looking for work, it's really good news for you guys too. But it sort of warns that in interviews or applications or however it is you're being asked to present yourself to the potential hirer or recruiter, that you'll need to come across sort of earth sign like, dependable, practical, grounded, not like flighty and all over the place. They can count on you. You're going to come in, you're going to work, your full shift. You're not going to be trying to, give them a BS excuse of why you got to, take off all the time and all that kind of stuff. If they say, contact you at the fairly last minute and say, can we count on you to cover so-and-so, you're going to be that type of person. That's what they're looking for those of you who are looking for a job. For those of you who already have one, again, it's a positive. So you should, continue to grow and, find that you're meeting goals and accomplishing things. And in terms of finances, separate and apart from work, maybe, it's really positive there too. It means like money will be coming soon, especially if you've been waiting on it. So maybe for those of you that we picked up on maybe waiting for a check or some sort of income or money or something, yes, although delayed, it's coming soon. It could just be stuck because we've been having such crappy mail in the United States, right? Over the past couple months. So maybe it'll finally, this says it's coming soon. Not maybe it'll finally get here. This says it is coming, and it is going to get here soon. Also, money could be coming to you from just about anywhere with this card. It could be, some sort of income or bonus or raise, or maybe even inheritance. Somebody left you something. even like you scratched off a lottery card and you got something, or you played the regular lotto, you hit the number, really just like anywhere. Anywhere. But don't, if it is like attached to gambling, it still comes with a warning of not like risking any money that you can't afford to lose. Like, don't, again, bet the farm. I used that term before. Don't bet the farm. Don't bet the farm. In terms of spirituality, it aligns with the other cards. I mean, it says that you're in the midst of some sort of like spiritual change. You may even be feeling like spiritually overwhelmed, and for like unknown reasons. You have no idea why you feel this way, but your soul is searching, and wants information. And again, based on the other cards, you could come into it very quickly. It should be a positive change that you experience. So moving on to the devil in reverse, who may be an actual Capricorn in your life. That may also be who this Knight of Pentacles represents too. Or again, in your own chart, you could have this, or, that's not even necessary. It's just showing up because this is your energy this month. Or, perhaps it's tied to some of the retrogrades of the other planets, and how they're affecting you. We had Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter all retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, as well as Ceres, the asteroid. So anyway, this is saying that the difficulty that you've been experiencing, or feelings of fear and being stuck and trapped and lacking options, and just having nowhere to go and no help, no one to help you, or support system or anything like that, which coincides with the Ten of Wands. I mean, that's what the Ten of Wands is about too. Like having, could be having a whole bunch of stuff on your plate, a lot of things that you have to handle, that you're responsible for. But for me, it's also about like, you're that person to which everybody comes. Your parents, your children, your siblings, your friends, anybody that needs help or a listening ear, advice, money, a loan, let me hold a few dollars or whatever. Everybody comes to you. And while you may be capable of handling all of that, eventually it does get to you. And people do, maybe this is what's spurring the spirituality thing with you. Because eventually, as human beings, we stop and we say, like, well, what about me? Like, when I feel like this, like, where am I going to go? Like, do I have anywhere to go? And we start thinking about the fact that, like, maybe we don't. And that's when you feel stuck and trapped and like, uh-oh, I have no support system. So this really says to us, the devil, that things are not as bad as they seem. But in any and every situation in our life, we may need to dig a little deeper and find out what's going on. Certainly, we should not presume, or jump to conclusions, or make assumptions about any given situation. If we're unsure about something, we need to dig a little deeper. So that relates to our spirituality as well. We're unsure about things. We're not sure like where we're going, who we are, what's happening with us. We need to dig a little deeper in that regard. And we could be having difficulty because of maybe some of the people that are leaning on us and things like that. Or, maybe that it's bills that we're responsible for too. We're waiting on that income to come. People are relying on us to provide for them, to take care of them, to help them out. And we're always the responsible person. We take care of ourselves. What's going to happen if we can't take care of ourselves? We have nobody to go to. They have us. We don't have them. So now what? And your attitude, even your vibration, your energy can suffer, can get low. And so in terms of spirituality, the devil in reverse can be representative of having difficulty maintaining a positive attitude. And in that case too, you're going to have to dig deeper, Cancer. Go deeper within yourself and pull out that positive attitude that is in you. You guys are all about love, right? You're the sign of like love, and emotion and all those things. So reach down in there and pull some of that out. So moving on to the King of Swords, in terms of finances, he tells us we need to face the reality of our financial situation, which again, in your case, based on the cards, could be that your money's held up. So you have some that's coming to you also based on the cards, but You're going to need to work on keeping your energy up and positive, despite the fact that you might feel like you're in a little pinch. And don't try to hide from it. Don't try to like hide from your bills or hide from your situation. Just face it head on and deal with the reality. Be aware of what's in your account and what needs to be paid out, and what should be coming in, and maybe even digging deeper in a physical sense in that regard. If something is held up in the mail or whatever, call the person or entity who's supposed to be sending it to you if you're aware that it's coming, and see if you can track it and find out what's going on, and to get an idea of when you will be able to take care of certain bills and things that are coming your way and all that kind of stuff. In terms of work itself, there could be somebody like what I described before. This really like, man's man, and possibly even an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Dark haired, maybe, to even be more specific, and just this sort of like stereotypical really macho and or masculine kind of man, to the point that he may come off and like rub you the wrong way. Maybe the way that he behaves or the way he talks to you, you find it sort of problematic. But he is, you may be being too sensitive. I'm trying to look for a better way to say it that doesn't sound like I'm blaming you for his behavior. But the way he's coming off to you, the way you're receiving it, is not the way he intends to send you the message. It is just sort of this very, again, masculine, like just overflowing kind of energy from him that is causing this. Which just like that's him. He's not putting on airs or anything for you or trying to mistreat you intentionally. And lastly, the 10 of Wands in loving relationship can mean your relationship is in a difficult spot. It's in a tough spot. Maybe you and or your mate or love interest are going through a difficult time. If you're not both, sometimes in particularly in long relationships that have been going on for a while, the people are just sort of tired and over it. It's gotten too mundane, or it's gotten too difficult to carry. Like it just feels like a lot of work. Relationships are work, but they just shouldn't feel painful. Like a lot this is like all work and not much joy. Also, like I mentioned about providing and stuff like that, and making a home, that could be what you're trying to do, and that could be the weight that you're carrying, that you're just having difficulty, again, maybe because your money's tied up or something like that, and so you're wanting to provide. You need to be able to provide for yourself and or someone else or an entire family maybe, and so the difficulty with being able to do that is like a real weight on your shoulders. For those that are single, this may not be your month, and that's okay too. I mean, you got some other things to work on, and for yourself. Again, I think most specifically, like a new spiritual phase for you, a new path on your spiritual journey that may include a new relationship for you. Like maybe you're exiting a relationship, or you recently got out of a relationship, and so you're dealing with that weight, and you gotta take time to rest and relax, and get your strength back and your mojo back, your oomph, and then go out and find a new mate. So now I just want to supplement your cards with my fortune reading cards, beginning for you guys with Thorns. Weathering the challenges ahead will bring in a new and positive future. I think it's interesting that we ended on Wands and we sort of like went right back into an energy of Wands. But the next card is also upright and it's super positive. It is Proposal. A romantic or business opportunity is indicated. So again, there's something, finances and or money, a new job or a promotion or a raise or something very, very possible for you guys. That could be the business proposal. And or something going on in your relationships. Improvement, getting better. Maybe let's start all over again, or maybe let's end this and again you meet somebody else and they propose some sort of commitment to you, or let's try, let's date, let's check each other out. Owl is also upright. This is like super Cancer for me. Like the energy of the owl, or the owl as a totem or an animal spirit. It just really ties to the energy of Cancer for me. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. And again, I think this is where you guys are at this month. A lot of you, it really is going to be about some sort of spiritual change, awakening for a bunch of you. Star, hard times are over. Okay, so again, putting these wands down or easing out of a difficult and a challenging energy. Look forward to an abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity. This could have something to do with an air sign, maybe particularly an Aquarius. Similarly, this could be tied to fire. And I would say this, like water energies. Again, water energies, particularly your own. Could be Aquarius. And you got another devil. This devil's upright. Take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit. So I think I touched on the potential for disloyalty and stuff when we looked at the 9 of Swords in reverse. And of course, the devil could be attached to that also. Somebody could be, acting. And this is surrounding energy. So there could be somebody acting as a bit of a devil in your life. Then again, follow your gut. You guys, have good intuition, strong intuition. Follow it this month. And I was going to say, I'm doing this reading today on the full moon, and the moon rules your sign, right? The moon is your ruler. And in here we have the moon upright also. Pay attention to your intuition. This is perfect at this time, and move ahead confidently. God, so many upright cards. Angel, your angels are guiding and protecting you on your spiritual journey. I really feel this for a bunch of you. Lovers, there are 2 paths ahead. Be true to yourself. That's the last upright card. All right, so now I'm going to shuffle these a little bit in front of you too, and then we'll connect them with these here. So opening first to plane. A journey is indicated, either physically or metaphorically, and your life will become more full. I do think, again, there's a bunch of you, this is a journey on a brand new, spiritual path. Thorns. Marriage. You're attracting emotional fulfillment and unconditional love. Well, after the 10 of Wands, or the 10 of any given suit, is the Ace, right? So that's a new start. Always know that when these endings come, even we're tired, we're exhausted, we get fresh energy. We get a fresh start. Marriage. World. Be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life. And I'll do one more. And it is wish. Your heart's desire is ready to come true. Wish. Now your overall energy. So we'll pull directly from the top. The first card, like this one, will represent you most directly for the month, and it is patience. Slow down, change your attitude, and clear your mind. And it's funny because the Knight is a very slow, the Knight of Pentacles is a very slow and steady, wins the race kind of energy. So he does require patience. He's definitely no King of Swords in terms of speed and stuff, or Wands energy. Wands are about movement. No, this is slow, consistent, steady, dependable. You can count on me. That requires patience for sure. Surrounding energy, it's top of the Devil in reverse. We have the Sun in reverse. Again, I just think you guys are going to come into a bunch of enlightenment. Sun, open your heart and to the enormous growth ahead. You also have to dig a little deeper. You can get a dig to plant flowers. You're going to have to dig a little deeper. King of Swords in your money and finances sector, and it is this owl again. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. Maybe when you pay attention and when you face head on your financial situation, you'll get some intuitive guidance as to what your next steps should be, in that regard. And lastly, love relationship. Beware. Be careful of who you trust at this time. Maybe there's difficulty in a relationship, and there's desire on one side or the other or both to end it. Maybe because it should be ended because of some sort of disloyalty or infidelity or just not being willing to put in the energy and the effort that it takes to maintain a healthy relationship. But this is our overall energy. It is wish. Your heart's desire is ready to come true. So it'll be something that you want to allow you to move into a better space. Or maybe you need to let go of whatever you're carrying from your old relationship, probably in the form of negative emotions like the inability to forgive, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, just like old hurt and pain that you do not want to carry with you into your next relationship. So this could also be guidance for you to take some time to put that down, because the relationship that you want is out there for you in the near future. I didn't look behind this to see what else was coming up for you guys. Mountain, know that you're protected as you face challenges and remain cautious. But unity is what we're going to end on. A time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. You got to free yourself up for it, though. Put down the heavy bags. I hope you guys have enjoyed your reading. If you have, please, give it a thumbs up. Hit that like button, share, comment, subscribe if you're not a subscriber by hitting both the subscribe button and the bell button. I went through all the problems I have with YouTube at the beginning, one of which is that my subscribers almost never get notified that I've published a video. They have no idea, because I also don't end up in the feed in the recommended. So a way to try to combat that is to make sure that you hit both buttons so that you can receive notifications. I do appreciate it all. Namaste.